What are you going to do for our upcoming anniversary? My wife Olive asked me, smiling. It's that time of the year already? Maybe dinner at the hotel where we had our wedding? I said. Olive nodded. I'll think of something then. My name is Carrie. I'm a 32-year-old office worker. My wife Olive is 1 year older than me. She's 33. We met at our company's year-end party. It was a joint year-end party with our business partners, and we happened to be at a table near each other. She was the one who approached me. When we talked, I told her that my hobby is solo camping. It's a hobby that only a few people are into, but Olive was interested in my hobby. She also likes to barbecue, so we hit it off. On our first few dates, Olive organized a barbecue for us. Olive invited her childhood friends, and we had a barbecue. That's when I first met Olive's classmate, Kathy, and her underclassman, Nate. They live near each other in their hometown, and they've been close since elementary school. And to my surprise, Kathy and Nate got married 6 months ago. Marriage between childhood sweethearts is like something out of a novel, so I was a bit jealous. Kathy is the type of person who is kind to everyone, so she makes sure that I feel included. On the other hand, Nate is more like a little brother, like he needs someone to do everything for him. He seems to think that what belongs to others is also his. Even at a barbecue, when he runs out of what he wants to eat, he takes food from Olive or Cassie's plate, and if I open a bottle of alcohol, he'd say he should have it, and he'd take it away. For the three of them, this behavior seemed to be natural, but I felt uncomfortable that no one was paying attention to that. I'd heard that they were like family, so I didn't say anything about it. After that, Olive and I got married. We've been married 3 years now. We celebrated at a restaurant last year and the year before. This year, I'd like to have dinner at the hotel where we got married. I suggested it, but a few days later, Olive suggested a barbecue. On our wedding anniversary? I thought to myself. But who are we going to invite? It's our own wedding anniversary. I asked her, not really getting into it. Why don't you invite your family? I haven't seen my childhood friends in a while too. Anyways, why not have someone close to you come over and celebrate? I was told. Since Olive's been busy with work, we don't get to go out as often as we used to, so I thought it would be nice to visit the hotel where we got married and to relive the happiness of that day. But we haven't had the chance to show off our new home yet, so for that matter, I thought it would be nice to have everyone there. We haven't had a barbecue recently too, so I started to think positively about it. Our anniversary is only a month away. Olive is an only child, so her family consists of her in-laws and her 2 childhood friends. I've already asked my sister and parents, so we have a pretty good idea of how many people we'll be bringing. I'd made a shopping list, and I was starting to get excited. I checked with Olive to see how many people were coming. Kathy's busy at work, so she said she won't be able to make it. So, it's just your dad and your mom? I asked. Olive replied angrily. And Nate too, you know. I was puzzled by her answer. I mean, we've known each other since we were kids. Kathy can't make it, so why would only her husband, Nate, come? As I'm pondering this, Olive continued. My parents said they couldn't make it this time. What? So, it's just Nate then? Olive nods. I don't understand why Olive said it in this way, but she said forcefully, My childhood friend is family too, you know. You don't have any childhood friends, so maybe you don't understand, but we treat each other like siblings. You call Kathy's sister, too, don't you? So it's okay for me to call Nate my little brother. I was somewhat irritated by her tone, but I just decided to go along with it. Okay, I said. When I told my sister about it, she said, Isn't that kind of funny? I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but why don't you find out what's going on between those two? My sister loves detective dramas, so whenever something happens, she always wants to tie it to a case. I laughed at her outlandish words and said, You mean Olive is having an affair with Nate? That's not true. She says he's like a brother to him. Oh, right. And that guy's wife is Olive's childhood friend, too. That's right. I don't think she would have an affair with her childhood friend's husband. My sister's imagination made me feel a bit troubled. A few days later, I received a phone call from my sister. Hey, that guy you were telling me about, you said his name was Nate, right? Even though I felt a hint of doubt, I nodded my head. He came to the salon today. My sister works in a hair salon. First customer she worked with today turned out to be him. I'm invited to a barbecue at my girlfriend's house, he said. He talked about his girlfriend and her work while Emma was cutting his hair. My sister didn't think anything of it, but his descriptions were very much like Olive's. After the cut was done, when he showed a coupon on his phone, he happily said, This is my girlfriend, and he showed my sister a picture. It was a picture of Olive. She thought, Girlfriend? What do you mean? My sister's guess was true. I couldn't hide my shock. I mean, Nate had Kathy. From that day on, I knew I had to find out what Olive was up to. When you start doubting, everything seems suspicious. When she tells me she's working late, I wonder if she's meeting up with Nate, or even when she's at home playing with her phone, I wonder if she's chatting with him. I was going crazy, but I'm trying to keep my cool. When we were looking for a place to build our own home, she was saying, "My childhood friend lives nearby. We can help each other in case something happens." When I think about it, although we live closer to where she works now, she's been working overtime more often than before, and it also feels like she's been coming home late more often. And then I finally saw the evidence. The day she told me she had a drinking party at work, she came home unusually drunk. She said her boss had given her too much to drink. I sent her off thinking it was really a company party. A female colleague gave her a ride home, and it seemed to have been true. I let Olive lie down on the bed, and I put her blazer on a hanger. I was putting away her bag when I heard her phone, which she always carried with her. It rang inside her bag. It's the ringtone of a message. I can hear Olive sleeping in her bedroom. I pull out her phone and see a message that was displayed on the screen. It was from Nate. "I missed you today. Let's go on a date next week. I still love you." His messages came one after another. Olive is the type of girl who carries her phone with her wherever she goes, even into the bathroom, so she probably didn't expect me to see this. I take a picture of the screen with my phone. It was still getting a lot of messages. "Are you already asleep?" More messages came, but they finally stopped. I was about to smash the phone, but then I decided against it. I picked up the phone again. The screen was locked. I somehow remembered Nate's birthday. I was born on August 8th. My parents added an N. That's why I'm Nate. I remembered him saying that, so I gave it a try. It was the correct code. There were many photos of the two of them saved there. They were at the theme park that Olive had told me that she wanted to go to together. The most unforgivable thing was that there's a picture of them at the restaurant of the hotel where we got married. I took those pictures with my phone, too. For our anniversary, I suggested that restaurant at the hotel, but it was rejected, probably because she'd already been there with Nate. What kind of nerve did she have to have an affair right then and there? I couldn't forgive them. The next day, Olive woke up in a hurry. Do you know where my phone is?" "You're more worried about your phone rather than saying good morning first," I said, trying to put on a happy face. "Good morning. Are you feeling okay?" "My suit is on the clothes hanger, and my bag is on the couch, but it's not there." Then Olive quickly opened her bag and finally found her phone. Just how important is that to you? I thought. I just wanted to make fun of her a bit. She has a look of relief on her face. She's kind of grinning while fiddling with her phone. I wonder if she's checking the messages from Nate, but she can only make that kind of face for a little while longer, so she should enjoy it while she still can. It makes me feel better to think that's what I've been doing to keep myself together, and that's what kept me going with my plan. I looked at her phone a few times while she was sleeping. She carries her phone with her at all times, but I guess she doesn't notice it when she's asleep. I traced the messages back to an affair that started right after we got married. When I got married to Olive, I suddenly felt like something was being taken away from me. Nate married Kathy, who was kind and well off, but he didn't want to let go of Olive either, so Nate kept asking her out. What's more, it's as if she'd found her true love. I'm beyond angry, but for some reason, I'm calm. Half a month later, it's our anniversary, and I have a smile on my face. I spent the morning preparing for the barbecue. Olive sees me and smiles. I start to help her with the preparations. Olive's family is coming too, so I'm gonna show them what I'm made of. We're having a conversation like a happily married couple. Then the intercom rings. I greet my parents, my sister, and her husband. Olive was puzzled by the presence of my sister's husband. He said he'd like to come too, I explained. Olive laughed and said hello. Nate arrived next. I was a little worried that he and my sister would meet, but when my sister is at work, she wears her hair down and she puts on heavy makeup. But now she has her hair up in a bun and her makeup is more subdued. It's her own disguise, but it's hard to notice the difference in this way. The intercom rings again. Olive looks at me strangely. I opened the front door and greeted my relatives arriving one after another. What's going on? My uncles, aunts, and even my cousins arrived, so a total of 20 people came. We were all crammed into the room. My uncles, my aunts, and my cousins are here because I've always been close to them. They're like family to me. When I told them about this event, they all wanted to come, so I invited them. Nate is looking at me with a blank expression. Olive overhears me. "You should have thought about Nate too. Won't you get nervous when there are so many people you don't know?" I laugh out loud and answered, "What? It's okay, because when I went on the barbecue with you guys, you didn't care about me, and I felt like I didn't fit in, but you took care of Nate. Everyone's so nice, it's no problem. Besides, you're the one who should have thought of Nate. And I looked at the clock in the living room. It's about time. Olive was startled by my words. Are people still coming? I nodded, laughing, just in time to hear the intercom ring again. When I came back through the front door, the room was silent. Olive and Nate went pale. Why did you... Olive finally opened her mouth, and I answered, Because you wanted to call your family, didn't you? I told them, and they gladly came. My in-laws and Kathy arrived. When I called my in-laws, they both said yes. Actually, Olive hadn't been in touch with her parents and Kathy for a very long time. Kathy starts talking. Olive, where have you been? I'm settled at my job now, so I can hang out with you for a day. And Nate, I can't believe you're hanging out here too. Why didn't you just tell me? Nate stammered awkwardly. Oh, I thought you were busy, he said. Despite Olive and Nate's pale faces, the event went on happily. An hour passed. I, with a little bit of alcohol in my system, said cheerfully, Here comes the main event of the day. I call my cousin. She goes to Olive and gives her a card. Olive takes it with trepidation. What? A lawyer? My cousin nodded slowly. Carrie's getting a divorce, so I took the case. Divorce? Olive was so surprised. People started whispering. I pull out the divorce papers and hand them to Olive. That's it. Sign this, okay? Olive starts to panic. Wait a minute. What? Why? Then Nate guessed what was going on. He grabbed his bag and was about to leave, but my sister stood in his way. You're the star of the show. Sit here, she said, and led him to a chair. Nate took one look at her face and realized that she was the hairdresser from back then. His face got paler and paler. I glared at Olive. How could you celebrate our anniversary with such a nonchalant look on your face? I know you've been cheating on me with Nate, and you've been doing it since the day we got married. I took out my phone and showed her all the evidence. Olive turns pale and starts making excuses. Oh, no, it's just, I wasn't thinking straight, or... Nate was the one who asked me out. The only one I really love is you. I snickered at that. What a lousy excuse. Oh, that's right. If I divorce you, you won't be able to afford paying the mortgage on this house because you don't make as much as I do. Divorce is so troublesome, isn't it? If you'd really work overtime, you'd have a lot of money saved up, but most of the days you said you were working overtime, you were really just cheating on me. You took paid holidays to go to theme parks and even eat at the hotel where we got married. How does it feel to cheat on me? Olive looked as if she was about to cry. When Olive married me, I suddenly felt like something was taken away from me. I can't believe you asked her out, Nate, you scumbag. And you're even here on our anniversary by yourself. You thought I wouldn't notice because I pretended to be okay with you. I guess I wanted to feel superior. Yes, Nate's the type of person who sees other people's things as his property too. I guess it's because he couldn't allow Olive, who had been giving him attention, to be mine. I've found true love, he'd told Olive. He also hasn't split with Kathy. I wonder if he's drunk on the affection of both Kathy and Olive. I look at Nate, but he looks so pale and as if he's about to collapse. And then, Kathy approaches him. I'm getting divorced too. I knew you were seeing Olive. I thought you were only discussing something, but I didn't know you were really cheating on me. Carrie told me about it, and I also looked into it myself. And what's more, you're even having an affair with one of your subordinates at work? At Kathy's words, Nate couldn't look up. Olive glared at Nate. I can't help but laugh at the sight. You don't have the right to glare at Nate. I wasn't sure if I should tell my in-laws or not, but they were already on my side. Apologize to me in advance. Right now, they're just keeping quiet and watching over me. My parents and relatives are also on my side. They're talking to each other in small groups. No one's talking to us directly, but they're starting to understand what's going on. They are all looking at Nate and Olive with contempt. Kathy handed Nate the divorce papers. Sign it and get out. I'll file a claim for alimony. She already spoke to Nate's parents, so he broke down in tears and Olive turned pale. But my cousin, who was also a lawyer, just nonchalantly confronted her with the claims for alimony. Olive was also urged by my in-laws to fill out the divorce papers and took her with them. Kathy took Nate with her. It seems that his parents had been waiting for them at their house. Then, they took Nate with them. I was so relieved. I continued enjoying the barbecue with all my relatives. Olive and I got a divorce, and of course, I filed for alimony. She pays me every month what she owes me, so I guess she's still working. I don't know anything about the details, but I'm going to ask for alimony from Nate. Kathy's going to ask for alimony from him too. I heard that he's moved back to his parents' house. I'm single again, and I'm back to being a solo camper. My sister, who's been acting like a detective, said, "I'll do a background check on you when you get married again, okay?" But it seems that the day when my sister will do that is far away. However, I still have regular barbecues with my relatives, so I still have fun, and I feel fulfilled.